In this video, I'm going to give you some tips on how to communicate effectively with those difficult coworkers or difficult staff members. Welcome to the channel, Leadership with Mike. On this channel, I help you become a more confident leader, and I do this with no nonsense sense, if that makes any sense. Oftentimes, we get ourselves into trouble because we don't know how to properly communicate with the people around us. Whether it's our boss, our subordinates, our colleagues, or even our family members. If we can learn how to communicate effectively, then we can resolve a lot of conflict and improve our relationships. So let's dive in. The first thing that we need to do is I want you to avoid speaking in condescending or angry tones when communicating with difficult staff or coworkers in order for this to be effective. If a person is speaking in a condescending manner, they are coming across as being superior and attempting to belittle the other person. This type of communication can lead to the feeling of absolute disrespect and cause the other person to become defensive and less likely to listen. If a person speaks in an angry manner, this can also make it difficult for their message to be heard clearly. Speaking with anger usually results in raised voices, fast words, and attempt to dominate the conversation. Kind of sounds like my videos. This can make it hard for the other person to understand what it is you're saying, and it's hard for them to respond effectively. It's important that any communication between difficult staff members and coworkers is done calmly and respectfully so that everyone involved feels comfortable expressing their thoughts and opinions without the fear of judgment or ridicule. Taking time to pause before responding can help ensure that your message comes across with clarity instead of in an aggressive way that could potentially damage relationships. One way of communicating effectively with difficult staff members or coworkers is using I statements. I don't know why I did that, but that felt right. So this is a strategy that focuses on the speaker's feelings and the needs rather than attacking or blaming the other person. For example, instead of saying, "You make me mad when you do that," you can say, "I felt frustrated when I saw this behavior." By doing this, the speaker can focus on their own feelings and perspectives and not make accusations towards the other person. Using I statements also encourages open dialogue between both parties by showing respect, as it allows them to address issues without being confronted directly. Research has shown that when we use an I statement while communicating with someone, they are more likely to listen to our viewpoint and take it into consideration. It helps us maintain a positive relationship with our colleagues by creating an environment in which everyone can express themselves openly, again, without fear of judgment or blame. To sum up this point, using I statements rather than you statements is an effective way to communicate effectively with difficult staff or coworkers, as it helps foster understanding amongst all involved, and it encourages open dialogue without judgment or blame. Body language can be one of the most important factors when it comes to communicating effectively with a difficult staff member or coworker. In order to ensure that your communication is successful, it is crucial for your body language to be open and positive. What this means is that you should stand or sit in a way that presents yourself as being comfortable, as being approachable, and as being confident. Avoid crossing your arms and refrain from making aggressive stances. Instead, try to relax your body. Try to make sure that you have a good amount of eye contact with the person you're communicating with. It's also important to smile, nod, and actively listen when they talk. These actions show respect and understanding of what they are saying. Speaking at a moderate level can demonstrate assertiveness without being intimidating or aggressive. Using open-ended questions like, "What do you think?" rather than yes or no questions can help lead to a more meaningful conversations. All of these strategies will help create an atmosphere where both parties, you and your coworker, feel comfortable discussing difficult topics without hostility. In addition to how your body language is working, take the time to listen, actually listen to what the other person has to say during this difficult conversation. Not only should you pay attention and give them your full attention, but you should also take the time to actively listen and process what they are saying. This means not only hearing the words, but attending to their feelings, asking clarifying questions to ensure that you absolutely 100% understand the situation and really listening for underlying meanings behind their words. This gives you the opportunity to see if there's any areas of common ground or shared values with the other person, which can be used as a platform for the conversation. By taking the time to actively listen, it allows for a more collaborative approach in resolving issues with your staff or coworkers. By learning from each other's perspectives and finding solutions that work for everyone involved. Listening actively demonstrates respect for the other person's opinions and considerations, which can help build trust between individuals over time, as well as foster an environment of open communication. Now, when it comes to communicating effectively with these difficult people, it's important to respond calmly and thoughtfully, even if you don't agree with them. This can be a challenge, especially if the conversation gets heated or emotions are running high. The key is to pause and take a few breaths before you respond, so as not to say something in the heat of the moment that you can't take back. Once words leave your mouth, they don't go back in. When you do respond, try to remain cool and collected, while also being assertive enough to stand your ground. Try to give them space to express themselves without interrupting or cutting them off mid-sentence. Make sure they know you're hearing their point of view, then provide yours in turn. Be willing to compromise. By listening actively and focusing on common goals rather than differences, it's often possible for both parties to find a solution that satisfies their needs. No matter how difficult the conversation may be with this person or these people, it is important for you as a leader to stay positive in order to communicate effectively. Having a positive outlook not only helps prevent the escalations of the situation, but it also provides an environment which everyone can easily find common ground and work towards an amicable resolution. It is important to keep in mind that no one person is to blame for the circumstances, even if they're to blame. And instead, try to work together, finding solutions that will benefit everyone. Being objective and open-minded will help you look at the issues from different perspectives, as well as come up with creative solutions that both parties are happy with. When expressing yourself, try to use constructive language that focuses on what can be done rather than what cannot be done. This will help build positive relationships and set the stage for successful conversations moving forward. Make sure, again, that you're actively listening when talking to the other person so that they feel heard and understood. This will make them more willing to talk openly and honestly about their opinions and feelings. Be patient during conflict situations. Being patient during conflict situations can go a long way towards resolving disagreements quickly and efficiently. If possible, take some time away from the situation and come back later with fresh eyes and ideas. In doing this, you will create space for respectful dialogue that leads to an effective communication between everyone involved. If you can avoid speaking in a condescending or angry tone, if you can use I statements and keep your body language open and positive, you are on the right track to communicating effectively with your staff or coworkers. It's also important to take the time to listen to what the other person is saying and respond calmly and thoughtfully, even if you don't agree with them. And it's essential to stay positive throughout the conversation, no matter how difficult it may be. If you want more tips for when dealing with someone who is undermining you at work, watch this video. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing, get your coffee, and I'll see you over there. Ciao.